Well, qualifying is scored complete. We head to the grid now for the start of this race. 20-minute race here tonight at Hockenheim. Well, Keithley couldn't do it. He will not improve. And the race will start in a moment. Those lights going on top of the RaceRoom gantry here at Hockenheim. Counting down those drivers as the engines start to roar, and away they go. Green flag displayed. We are green flag here at Hockenheim as the cars roar off the pit line. We will soon see what can happen as Heinemann takes a great commanding lead through turn 1. And I believe that was Akos Kameni going way off the track. Straight into the barriers, I believe.
No wreck so far, I guess. I think everyone was able to come back to the track. It was very close in turn 1. I've seen Davide Toccacelli making a 3 wide into turn 1, but everyone was able to come through to the first straight.
It was indeed. We've had Denis Emelianenko go down the order. Of course, he's had a bit of a wobble, I believe. And the car there, well, Akos Kameni, he is still running in the top 5 right now, although he's fallen down. Big contact at the hairpin there. A couple of cars turned around. I believe that also included the car of Julian Kunze and Emelianenko. Also Adam Jonas involved in that one, so big incident there at the hairpin there, Fabian.
Yeah, that is a critical spot on this racetrack, and especially in the first lap. It's so close, the field is together on a very short place on the track, and it's no surprise to see the cars wrecking at that point of the track.
Especially with traffic being so tight here on the first couple of laps. I have to apologise for calling this a 20-minute race. Live timing did show it as 20 minutes remaining, but we are, of course, here for the usual standard 30-minute race. And coming now to complete lap 1, it is still Heinemann leading Keithley, leading David Toccacelli now. Of course, Akos Kameni had a wobble in the first lap or so. He fell down to 4th position. Willie Winschatten in P5. And Juan Marco Fiducci is P6. Werner had pushed his way into the top 5 for a moment, but he's fallen back down the order, as has Klaus Schulze and Jan Stange. He's P9. Denis Emelianenko has recovered from an early race mistake, and he's back up to P10, of course, Fabian.
Yeah, and as expected, Tim Heinemann is benefiting from the clean air. He already put 1.5 seconds on Jack Keithley, so he is really showing why he is the man to beat here tonight.
He really is. Clean air being such a big factor for that turn 6 hairpin. Although a lot of these guys, as we know, of course, tyre wear is not something enabled in the series, turning this into some sort of Tokyo drift, and we have another crash. Yes, we do. That was the car, I believe, of Julian Kunze in the number 2 Euronics machine. That car spinning round as he tried to drift and probably couldn't hold on to it. So, of course, these drivers taking advantage of the lack of tyre wear in this series. Obviously, that's been disabled. They can push the cars a lot harder than you normally would, and for a turn like that, it's obviously advantageous to take it sideways.
Yeah, but that's also demanding a lot from the drivers, having no tyre wear. You have to give everything you have for the whole 30 minutes. You cannot save tires, you cannot relax in a single turn. You have always to push the car to its limits.
Exactly, as big a challenge as having tyres that fall off in 3 or 4 laps. Of course, driver mental pressures are a major factor in motorsports, especially in sim racing, and well, nowhere as much as here in the virtual DTM series, where these drivers are pushed to the maximum of their own mental and physical capabilities for 30 minutes every week. And of course, right now it is still most mentally prepared of all these drivers. Tim Heinemann leading the way. He currently sits 1.8 seconds ahead of Jack Keithley, his championship rival, still within reaching of the championship title points-wise. Keithley now fallen back 2 seconds, 2.5. That car not quite able to keep up there with the Audi of Heinemann.
Yeah, it's a big surprise to see Heinemann being that good and letting no chance for Jack Keithley to keep up with him. But we see that Davide Toccacelli is also in a good spot on P3, so he is not really a contender for the championship anymore, but who knows? We still have a lot of races left, so this is round 8, and we have 18 rounds in total, so it's good to collect all the points you can, and maybe you will have the chance to make a good result for yourself in the championship later on.
It is indeed, and a lot can change in a matter of races, never mind another 10 races in the championship, so everything's still very much to play for here at the virtual DTM championship, and these drivers back here for the second time at Hockenheim Ring this season so far, and showing just how much they love this circuit. Incredible close, tight fighting right now. That's the car of Willie Windschatten back to P7. He's lost out big style in the first couple of laps here at Hockenheim. Here we go, 25 minutes to go. 5 minutes score complete. The drivers completed 4.5 laps, 5 laps now. This time running down ever so slowly for your race leader, who wants nothing more than to see that white flag and the checkered flag coming out here at this circuit. Heatley behind him, really not improving. That time still hovering about 2 seconds gap. As we look now towards the cars of Emelianenko and Windschatten coming down the Parabolica curve, a very common corner name in motorsports, Fabian.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's providing great racing again.
It is indeed, and of course these drivers having a good run out tonight. The Audis, Mercedes, and I believe BMWs in this series are having a good running and making sure these drivers push as hard as they can. Of course, they are different in manufacturer appearance, but underneath they are the same specification of car as per DTM regulations, so really no difference in handling characteristics. Of course, all 500 horsepower rear-wheel drive front-engine machines, so very similar handling properties.
Yes, they're very similar, but we see that the fastest BMW is only on P5 with Gianmarco Fiduci. So Audi is doing good, and Mercedes is trying to keep up with them.
They are indeed, and well, the Audi out front is in a league of his own. That is the car of Tim Heinemann, that red number 17 Audi Sport machine. Simply running away with the field right now, 2 seconds and growing on Jack Keithley's Petronas Mercedes. The Staffelder of David Toccacelli behind him in the other Audi, not quite able to just hold on to those guys. He's sitting 1.7 seconds back currently from Keithley. With 4th place, 2 seconds behind him, that is Akos Kameni, the guy who was fighting for the race lead last week out at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. He had an amazing run in that race, but just not able to hold it to Tim Heinemann. Heinemann, of course, having a mistake early on in that race on turn 1, having to come back through the field to take the win, which was not as easy as it might have seemed. That's the 5 car on screen right now of Klaus Schutze, running at this moment in P number 6. He's having a great run tonight. Currently gaining, he's on a faster lap at the moment, 1 minute 31.545 his last lap. This is currently up 0.6 of a second. Will we see him closing now on Gianmarco Fiduci in P5?
On P7 we see Denis Emelianenko producing a little traffic jam behind himself, but now someone went off the track, so he got rid of them. But he was in a way for the cars behind, so they tried to force him to out of the track, and they went off the track themselves.
Well, karma sometimes coming into effect for these drivers. That was the car of Willie Windschatten that came off the track, trying to get around Emelianenko. Unable to secure that pass, he will stay in P8 for now, although able to defend from Jan Stanjev from behind in P number 9. Adam Jonas, that's the BMW machine in P number 10. The rear of this field right now. He's still trying to chase these two, trying to find a way past. Of course, Emelianenko bottling them up fairly successfully, but a track like Hockenheim, you can keep cars in. Defensive lines are very effective here.
And we had a spin.
We did. Which car was that?
That must have been Oscar Hardwick.
Well, the other Red Bull machine there, Oscar Hardwick, going back down the order right now. Down to P13 at the moment. He was running in P11. Hardwick not having a great run out tonight. But car's going again. He's back into position and will still hold that place on the track. Time to begin the long climb back towards the rest of the field for him. No change out front at the moment. 2 seconds still separating your lead from P2. Although the gap to P3 now has changed hands as Kameni and Fiduci are fighting. Those two cars practically next to each other on a racetrack. Hopefully get an onboard camera view from that fight as it happens. But Fiduci and Kameni are having a great scrap here on the racetrack. Fight now going on between P3 Akos Kameni and P number 4 Gianmarco Fiduci. They are grabbing pretty hard right now, of course, heading down towards the hairpin turn 6. Big draft opportunity here for Fiducci if he can use his DRS on Kameni, or would he rather save it for after this hairpin and running towards the Mercedes curve? There you go, on board with Gianmarco Fiducci, running up now past turn 7, following that car of Akos Kameni. He's managed to find his way back into P3, but the fight has separated them from the lead 2 cars. That's dropped them back 5.7 seconds from second place right now, Fabian. This fighting is really costing them.
Yes, and now they are on the part of the track that is not very good to run in dirty air. As you see, Fiducci is missing the turn in, and now he's becoming slow, and lets Klaus Schulze pass.
Yeah, Schulze getting through into P4, pushing Fiducci down to P number 5 on the racetrack. Schulze's Red Bull machine having a good run there, but he fell back for a moment there. And I think our timing and scoring might have had a moment, but it's not. Raul Ferreira shown in P number 4. He isn't there, I don't think. We might be on a connection issue. We apologise for that. But riding on board now with Fiducci, looking towards that car of Schulze ahead of him, running down towards P number 2, corner 2. Big braking here for the right-hand corner. Through the S's, we have a car turned around on the racetrack.
Tocacelli turned Fiducci, yeah.
Yeah, Tocacelli turned the car of Fiducci around. Well, that's one way to make a pass.
The Italian style, yeah.
Are you suggesting Italian drivers have particular fire in their blood?
Oh, I guess I had just saw evidence for that.
Well, you might well have indeed, and the cold, calculating German style of Tim Heinemann out front is still pushing out fast laps, running 30.8 at the moment. Fast qualifying laps from him, not making a mistake in the true German fashion, Fabian.
Yes, but let's take a look at the clock. We are just 12 minutes into the race. It's still a long time, and Heinemann has to keep up his concentration, not making a single mistake, because Jack Keithley is just waiting. Jack Keithley just drove a 1:30.3. That's an amazing time, and he is gaining on Tim Heinemann.
He is indeed. That was faster than the pole position lap in qualifying by 0.2 of a second for Jack Keithley. Incredible run from him so far. He is gaining now towards your leader. It can get very lonely out front, of course, Fabian. Tim Heinemann not really seeing any traffic ahead of him until he starts lapping cars, but he will have real difficulty maintaining that focus to put in the fast laps, whereas Keithley has a target. Of course, last time out we saw at Red Bull Ring, Heinemann had an early mistake, so had to really fight hard to gain back to the leaders, which took him at least 2/3 of the race. So right now, he is the one being stalked rather than stalking.
Yeah, it's always an advantage to follow a driver to keep up your concentration. You have your goal in front of your eyes, and that is very important. In case of Heinemann, he's running alone there. He has no cars on the next half of the lap, so he is running there. He's not seeing anyone, just in the mirror, and that is very difficult to keep up the concentration, to stay focused, and to drive every lap as good as he can.
Absolutely, and you can often fall into a rhythm and make mistakes when you are leading. It's so simple just to take corners as you did the last time and lose that focus as we have cars side by side of the racetrack. That is, I believe, the car of Kinzer and Adam Jonas in P number 10. It is BMW there ahead of Kinzer. Very trying to hold on to that position, but very loose there for Adam Jonas in P10.
Yes, but it's going to be difficult for Kinzer to overtake him here at this point of the track.
The stadium section, very difficult to get a pass completely on a car, despite being the slowest section of corners we have on the whole circuit. Just no real room for the drivers to pass there. I don't suppose the broadcast coverage gives quite the sensation it feels to drive this circuit, but as you know, Fabian, that final sector, it's almost a car's width. It's so narrow.
Yes, and you lose downforce when following a car that close, and that is really annoying you as a driver, because you want to hit the corner as fast as you can, and other cars taking away the downforce from you, and you want to have the downforce just to be fast and to have the opportunity to go through turn 1 fast and then make the attack in turn 2. Absolutely,
and look at those times scored by your leader 2 cars. 1 minute 30.8 last time round for Tim Heineman. 1 minute 30.3 for Jack Keithley. That 2.5 second gap now down to 1 second and under a second at times. Someone is being hunted hard.
Yeah, Keithley's putting on laps that are just amazing. He's driving 133s every lap, it seems to me. And Heinemann cannot answer on those laps, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on him. He was in control of the race, and now Keithley is coming closer and closer, and maybe Heinemann will lose his confidence for a second, and that might be the chance for Jack Keithley for the pass.
Oh, we have to put this on Jack Keithley alone because the car of Akos Kameni in P3 has fallen further back. Major fast laps coming in now from Jack Keithley in that 12 Mercedes. He's just incredible pace here. We're seeing him doing faster than qualifying, faster than any car achieved during qualifying. Currently the fastest lap of the week from Jack Keithley at the moment, and Kameni falling down 6 seconds behind now, 5.9, but still dropping away at the front. Klaus Schutzer is 4.5 seconds back from Kameni. The 10 seconds off your lead, and it's just incredible the separation we're starting to see during this middle part of the race. Drivers getting a little bit more tired, less focus, and of course we still have Tocacelli chasing Schutzer. They're heading down towards turn 6 through the parabolic. A DRS in use there by the car of Tocacelli, going round the outside in the hairpin on Klaus Schutzer, and he will secure that pass with an incredible move.
Yeah, that really was a good move. Schulze already was next to him, but he was able to put the power on the track and was able to get Schulze behind him again.
He was. Schulze trying to come back through Mercedes corner and in the run towards turn 9 and 10, but just a wobble there, unable to really hold the pressure on and having a good look, but not able to get anything happening. As things stand though, Tocacelli back in that position with an incredibly brave, optimistic pass, but he secures it, and now he can start getting some cleaner air in front of him and make a charge towards Akos Kameni in P3.
And we have another battle for P7, which is as close as the battle for P4. Willy Windschatten is fighting against Gianmarco Fiducci. He tries to make good some ground.
He is indeed. Gianmarco Fiducci closing in now on Windschatten. Not able to make it too close to that car though, but within 0.3 of a second, so it's likely we'll have something happen as we've had a change for the lead. Tim Heinemann's fallen back. We aren't quite sure what's happened there. He's not. No, he is. He's not. He's not. He is. We are definitely having a live timing issue right now. It could well be a connection issue for one of those top two drivers, which could have incredible potential for championship issues. We're thinking it's actually Jack Keithley having connection issues, so major implications in the championship here. Of course, his timing hasn't been updated since that 1 minute 30.373, unless he's robotically doing the same laps. Keithley having an issue right now.
Well, he seems to be ahead of Tim Heinemann. Well, at least that's what I see on the track. Yeah, he's ahead.
He is ahead, so that's actually correct. We do have Jack Keithley in the lead. We don't know where that pass happened and unable to get a replay of that right now, but Keithley has passed your current race leader of most of the race, Tim Heinemann. And can he pull away? Will his connection hold up? Because Keithley dropping in and out right now. Uncertain as to what's actually happening, but could have major implications for the championship run.
Yeah, it's difficult for Heinemann to follow Keithley and to try to overtake him, because a car with such connection issues is very difficult to expect what's going to happen, what's going to do next. And that might be an advantage for Jack Keithley now, but he has to hope that the connection will last for the entire race.
Absolutely, he's deployed his special DTM net shield to protect himself from Tim Heinemann. If only that was a thing we could use. That'd be amazing for sim racing, but yeah, he has to really hope that connection holds out, and it's a problem for sim racing we have to take into account, of course, Fabian. We are racing with computers, with sim hardware, as we have I believe that was the car of Fiducci running into the back there of Windschatten, telling his Audi to move out of the way for him. I don't think these DTM drivers can flash their headlights, but that was the racing equivalent of doing so now, as he puts the bumper to the back of him, running into the Mercedes corner. Can he get the undercut here on the exit? No, it would be blocked by a lapped car, I think. as he just loses that opportunity to make a move.
Well, it's very close from the positions 5 up now. At the moment, Klaus Schulze, Dennis Emelianenko, Gianmarco Fiducci, Willi Windschatten, Jan Stange, they are all close together with a little gap between Emelianenko and Fiducci. So we might see a lot of passing in the next minutes.
Yes, and just to make a correction, that was Jan Stange, not a lapped car in that position, so well up and into the fight there as well. Fiducci takes advantage of those two cars battling and will make it through into P number 7, but the fight is certainly not over amongst those drivers as they will go on to complete another lap here at Hockenheim. Well, Tim Heineman scored as your race leader, or is he? Because also Jack Keithley scored as race leader, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that one to find out exactly what's happening amongst those two. We do believe, though, connection issue for Jack Keithley, and as we said, well, sim racing connection issue is like a car failure. It's like a piece of suspension failing, it's like an ECU problem. It's something that can happen occasionally, but you have to be prepared to deal with.
Absolutely, and at the moment Jack Keithley is still benefiting from it. Tim Heineman has no clue how to overtake him because he's everywhere on the track right now.
He is indeed, and going to be shaking things up towards the end of this one. We'll have to find out what happens in the final scoring, because could well be that Keithley's connection issue has allowed him to get past Heineman, and it's probably allowing him to keep it right now, but that gap 1 second on the racetrack, so not a direct issue in terms of placement, but you're seeing Tim Heineman popping into that race lead as Keithley's car blinks on and off the track. Kameni behind them, 6 seconds back, really not in this fight at all, as we head down now to just over 8 minutes remaining of this race. Run through those positions for you as they stand. It is Jack Keithley leading from Tim Heineman, but for how long? Akos Kameni in P3, David Toccacelli P number 4, Klaus Schulze P5, Dennis Emelianenko P6, Gianmarco Fiducci P7, Willi Windschatten P number 8, Jan Stange P9, Oscar Hardwick in P number 10, Domingo Camano P11. Disappointing race from him so far. Adam Jonas P12, Thomas Kinzer P13, Eric Werner 14th, Johan Joslin in P15, and Andre Schubel in P16, who is currently running about 1 second behind your penultimate placed car of Joslin, who is in fact 10 seconds back from P14. So those cars running a very separated race and a fight to not be the last car on the track, as Schubel is catching Joslin. We'll focus on that if we have something come up, but watching positions change now between Camano and Jonas on the racetrack. Oh, Fiducci there pushing wide into the car of Windschatten. Windschatten coming back at the Italian driver, try and take P7 away from him. Those two refusing to give up with this battle, though. This will probably come down to the checkered flag, Fabian.
Yeah, Fiducci is already dancing in the mirror of Windschatten just to make him nervous, just to tell him, I want to pass you. And that is what he's preparing right now. He takes a look at the line Willi Windschatten takes every lap, and he tries to find the spot that is right to make the pass.
Of course, with cars in such similar pace, you have to somewhat you have to attempt to make a pass at a driver every single corner but one, only for several laps later to make the dive in that one corner you've not been passing at, just to catch them out. Very easy to take a defensive line here and block an attempt from someone, or where you think they're going to go, but you've really got to outthink these drivers rather than outdrive them. We have at the front Tim Heineman, so it's scored ahead, now behind, so not sure what's going on at the front. We'll try and focus on Heineman actually, if we can, in P1, but see exactly how close he is to Jack Keithley at the moment. Look at that, open your cameras.
Very close, half a second I guess.
Yeah, they're not separated by much on the racetrack, so we'll see exactly what's happening with Jack Keithley's car and Heineman, although Heineman is now scored back in the lead of this race, so we will soon find out. Those are the cars on screen right now of Fiducci and Windschatten still backing out there in the bottom end of the top 10, but your race leaders hopefully coming up on screen shortly. We'll see exactly what's going on now. It's definitely half a second separation, so we could have a fight for the race lead coming now.
Well, I guess the fight is going on for the whole race already. There was never that much of a gap between the two, and now they are preparing everything, and I see a pass attempt by Heinemann, and Heinemann is through.
He is. Tim Heinemann going back to the race lead. He started on pole and he wants to be there for the checkered flag. Tim Heinemann back through on Jack Keithley, who's pressing hard now to close that gap. Can he use his DRS in a run down to the hairpin? Does he save it for afterwards? This could be a fight to the line for these two drivers. Really the class of the field in the championship so far, and the class of the field of the race. Oh, but
well, Keithley went off the track. He went off the track, he missed the turn in, and he lost a lot of time on Heinemann, who now has the chance to take over the race.
He's back. Yes, he's back. He's 3.5 seconds back on the track from Tim Heinemann, and 4 seconds back now from Akos Kameni. So that gap's again opened up. So no real threat from P3, but 3.6 seconds and 4 minutes 30 to do it. Fabian, do you think he can close in on Heinemann?
Well, he did it once early in the race with amazing lap times, so why shouldn't he be able to repeat that again?
Good indeed, and old timing showing up right now, of course, for Keithley. Still showing fastest lap of a 30.373. Quite a few of the drivers' lap times changing, so not sure what's going on with that one. But just looking there at Denis Emelianenko in P number 6 at the moment. Good run from him. Trying to chase down the car there of Klaus Schulze ahead of him. The car we see just on screen is Eric Werner. He's chasing Thomas Kinzer. P number 13, P number 14 battling out here in the closing minutes of this race tonight. I think that's the door there hanging open of Thomas Kinzer's car. Probably going to get flagged by the marshals for that one. Certainly been trading some paint on those cars.
It's a very close battle now at the end of the race. Eric Werner tries to pass Thomas Kinze, but Thomas Kinze knows how to defend himself. And well, now it's turn 1 and he is taking away all the downforce from Eric Werner, and Eric Werner is not trying to pass him in turn 1, which would not work at all.
No, too high speed of corner to really make a pass, and of course when that air is taken off your car, it understeers quite heavily. The car doesn't want to turn as he goes to the outside there. Kinzer taking a defensive line. But not sure if he managed to make that pass. Looking back now at Fiducci and Winschatten, the ongoing battle for 7th and 8th on this racetrack is really allowing Denis Emelianenko to escape ahead of them. They're 8 seconds back down the road with this fight. He is very thankful for that. A top 6 finish would be great for him. Klaus Schulze, P number 5, running not too far ahead of Emelianenko, but still in a safety zone. Toccacelli certainly clear at the moment, although he has fought recently with Klaus Schulze. Used his bumper to do so. Has to hope that Schulze cannot get back to his car, Fabian.
Yeah, Eric Werner made the pass on turn 6, so he's now ahead of Thomas Kinze. We can focus on, I guess P5 is the most interesting battle now. Klaus Schulze is still ahead of Denis Emelianenko, but he is held up by this battle, so he cannot make ground good on Davide Toccacelli, who's ahead of him. And the 4th place would be pretty interesting for Klaus Schulze, I guess, but he has to defend himself against Denis Emelianenko.
He will indeed in the car there. Emelianenko very fast right now on the racetrack, trying everything he can to catch Klaus Schulze. Of course, hard to make a separation, maybe on this track from another race car, with just how much downforce you have in these cars, and also the DRS system. That once you pass the car, they can catch you back so easily, and they have to really make a big mistake to fall away and to get up to another car.
Yeah, but the race proved that the draft does not make such a difference to the car, so it's not that easy to gain speed in the draft and make the pass at the end of the straight. So it's not that big of an advantage as we expected before.
Absolutely. Going to focus on board your leader, Tim Heinemann, now. As we come to the white flag, it will be out for him this lap round. This will be the final lap of the race here at Hockenheim, as the play clock ticks down to 1 minute remaining. That will be extinguished by the time he comes back around again. Amazing display of talent from Tim Heinemann today, Fabian. Just impressive, consistent lap times. Bit of an issue there, a bit of a fight with Jack Keithley in the latter half of the race. Keithley leading a number of laps, but at the end of the day, Keithley has made a mistake trying to chase Heinemann. He's now 7 seconds back from that lead. Really no chance of making anything out of that. Heinemann, unbeatable it seems, here at the ring.
Yes, and that's good for him as we look forward to the next races. Hockenheimring will be the final of the season. So, in case we will have a real battle at the end of the season, Tim Heinemann will be the favorite because he won the first race at Hockenheimring. He wins the mid-season race at the Hockenheimring. So he is going to be the man to beat at the end of the season.
Fabian, he will indeed, but fight between 5th and 6th position, and it's Klaus Schulze and Denis Emelianenko fighting hard here on the final lap. And Emelianenko make a late dive and pass Schulze for getting to that final corner. We will have to see right now, but looking there he is, he's not quite close enough, can't make it stick. But as we'll focus back on your leader, Heinemann, he will come past the start-finish line to take the win, take the checkered flag here at Hockenheimring. 1 corner remaining for Heinemann. This will be it. Tim Heinemann rounding that final corner, the Südbend, and he will take the champion, Südkurve, I apologize, and he will take the win at Hockenheimring in Germany. Tim Heinemann, your race leader, Jack Keithley will come through in P number 2. Akos Kameni, P number 3. Tokacelli will hold on to P number 4. And as we see here, coming to the line, the fight between Schulze and Emelianenko, it will come down to the wire, but that position will be held by Klaus Schulze in P5. But still, a great result there for Emelianenko, P6. Final drivers coming across the line will get you those scores as things update, but Willy Windschatten, P number 7, Gianmarco Fiducci, P number 8, Jan Stanger. Crash at the final corner. Yeah, that's Kinzer and I believe Kamano and Jonas. Wow, big incident there. Will any of them make it to the line? We'll have to see once those final scores update as they cross the line. See just who survived that one, but got to be angry there for Eric Werner. That car spun around at the end, and that will be, of course, Jan Stanger, P9, Hardwick, P10, Thomas Kinzer, P11, Domingo Camano involved in that last accident, P12, Eric Werner, possibly the biggest loser there, P13, Johan Jocelyn, P14, and Andre Schubel, P15. Those are your finishes there in the DTM Round 8 here at Hockenheim. Tim Heinemann taking another win, 2nd in a row for the German driver. Keithley, well, not the bride this time, has to settle for being the bridesmaid. Keithley coming home in 2nd position on the podium for the 2nd time. And Akos Kameni is the 2nd, P number 3. Wow, any final thoughts from this one, Fabian? Been an incredibly exciting race.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really delivering what we expected. And we saw Tim Heinemann win again, and he is expanding his lead in the championship. So another 7 points he gained on Jack Keithley. So now he already has an advantage of 28 points. So he could also miss a race and still be ahead of Jack Keithley. And yeah, that's good for him. So that really increases his chances to win the championship.
It does indeed, and wow, looking forward to the next round 9 in just under, just a week's time now. In fact, just under a week's time if we count the last 30 minutes. But as always, I've been Rachel Whiteford, and I've been joined tonight in the booth by Fabian Cloth. Fabian, you've been incredible tonight, and look forward to working with you again next week. This has been a broadcast for RaceRoom and the DTM Virtual Championship. We've been LSR TV. Good night.